Amanda's going to help a little bit with this session. Thank you. All right, so we have as Bruce introduced earlier, we have a coaching program that has yielded a 30.2% reduction in handicap for students. And we're proud to say that it is the #1, this is based on results, the #1 coaching program in the United States based on results. Now, that did not get there by accident. It started with many moons ago when I was like most other golf professionals. You would come see me for a golf lesson. We would hit golf balls on the range. We'd hit them well. Everybody would leave happy. Then you, the student, would go over to the driving range, or excuse me, from the driving range to the golf course, literally like 30 yards away. Do your little saunter, strut your stuff, get ready to go out there and have a good day because you were just striping it. And come back 4 hours later, I'd see you walking up the path after the 18th hole, looking like Eeyore the donkey from Winnie the Pooh, oh, Pooh. And I'd say, hey, we'll use Amanda as an example. Hey, Amanda, how'd you play? Oh, not well. What went on out there? I don't know. Well, you were so good on the range. I don't know. And then we'd repeat that 4 or 5 times, do a package of lessons, and like I alluded to earlier, we'd smile when after we had a professional breakup, and that would be that. So hard to believe that Amanda would break up with me, I know. But,
hard to do.
Anyway, so the long and short of it is, I started to think about there has to be a better way. And we have to start to identify what the disconnect is, because clearly it is not a technique issue. Students able to hit the ball over and over the same way. So basically, over the course of about somewhere between 7 and 10 years, we started to develop this process called mind-technique synergy. Mind-technique synergy is not any one thing. It's not just this one thing you can put your hand on and say, that's it. It's a concept. And it's the concept and the understanding that your mind is not everything. Can't just throw pixie dust at it and have a magic wand, and all of a sudden you're going to play great golf just by sitting in a chair visualizing it. It's also the understanding that technique is not everything. Clearly, if we just hit balls over and over and over and over and over and over and over on the range, then that would be it. So technique's not everything. It is how you uniquely combine them together or synergize them, the mind-technique synergy, that matters. And as soon as we started to develop mind-technique synergy and refine it and perfect it, we've had extraordinary results within student coaching. And we've gone from small improvements to huge improvements. Still to this day, even with the #1 coaching program in the U.S. at 30.2%, the students I see that I am allowed to see me still that way, where they only do their swing, 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 they improve 9%. This is the same person, same amount of time, same everything. But the person getting swing-only instruction is improving 9%. The person doing mind-technique synergy coaching is improving 30.2% on average. So something has to be in the water, so to speak, if you know what I mean. It's not just the coach. It's not just the student. It's the delivery of the information. It's how you're doing it. So you'll notice that Amanda has a tool belt. Now, we gave away our golf balls to Aiden, so here, we'll do this. Put a couple in there. All right. These are the tools that you need to play great golf as a starting point. It has nothing to do with technique yet, nothing to do with the system I'm about to show you, but these are the tools you need to play great golf. Go ahead and pull that out right there. Yeah, both of them. Okay. Amanda has in her left hand the mind-technique synergy scorecard, and in the other hand, which would be, okay, the right hand, is the Removing the Ants DVD. These two items together are the foundation for your golf game. So all students coming to see me use these two products first. May I hold them for one moment? Sure. The Removing the Ants DVD, ANTS stands for automatic negative thoughts. 86% of your thoughts and what used to be my thoughts and might still be your thoughts are negative and occur automatically. 86%. That means that you're up over that golf ball thinking, don't hit it in the trees. Hope I don't top this one. Everybody's watching me. I always play this hole poorly, et cetera, et cetera. Anybody ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the resounding yes. Because that's how we're made. We are human. That happens to us. But what do you think the excellent golfer sounds like before he or she hits a shot? I'm going to drop it right in the middle. I'm going to hit it right on the green. Okay, you get the idea. What, do you have one, young man? An I will statement that we'll get to in a little bit. So they say, I will hit the ball in the center. I will hit the ball on the green. I will blank. Positively phrased statements. The Removing the Ends DVD shows you exactly how to do that. It gives you all the information. We're going to go through some examples of it now, but it's really just the tip of the iceberg where this scorecard, this DVD will take you a little farther. Also here you can hold it up. You can give it the old, there we go. Okay. This is the Mind Technique Synergy Scorecard. You're about to learn in a few minutes what we have labeled as the Okino method. It is a 4-step process that is on this scorecard. This scorecard is designed to get you to learn how to keep score after each hole without a number. So you are conditioned to put 4, 5, 6, 9, 10 in the box. We condition you to put your process and check off whether you did what you're supposed to. So you are doing process-based scoring of yourself or behavior-based scoring as opposed to numbers-based scoring. Did you ever walk off a golf hole after you've made a 4 and just feel like you got lucky because maybe you sculled one just right or hit the pin and landed right next to the hole? Got lucky? Did you also ever walk off a golf hole with a 6 and feel like you played the hole pretty well, but maybe one bad shot hurt you? Okay. You can't get too high or too low based on score. So the scorecard is a tool or a mechanism, we'll go over the process in a minute, designed to get you to keep score based on what you're doing and how you're going about it, as opposed to letting those numbers get you up and down. Probably have no idea at this point, but your mindset and your processes. Okay? Mindset is taken care of by the DVD. Processes is taken care of by the scorecard. Your mindset and processes is a fundamental. The same way I talked about how the fundamental of the golf swing is centeredness, and how the fundamental of the golf swing is being able to line up, this is a fundamental. If you do not have these things, you will not improve anywhere near as much as if you do. Very, very key. And the reason where these came from, just so you know, through tons and tons of investigation, research, asking questions, getting real with myself and with students, and saying, hey, instead of Eeyore the donkey coming off the golf course like we talked about, when they started to play well, what'd you do when you played well today? What didn't you do? Then when they did play poorly, what are you doing out there? Asking questions and finding out what are the behavior and characteristics of people playing well and what aren't. So out of the whole system, this is the starting point. And then we kind of take it from there. So I will gladly take the tool belt back. You are relieved. Go have a glass of wine. And then we'll go from there. Let's give Amanda a hand. Now, you will notice on your sheet, as well as on Andy's scorecard here, there is a 4-step process. On the sheet, it goes around the outside. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. What is step 1, Drew?
Decide and visualize.
Decide and visualize. Now, we're not going to worry about what's in the middle of the document just yet. Let's worry about the outsides. Decide and visualize. So what that means, you can be our model for a moment. I'll take the card. You come on over here, Drew. I feel like we're moving chess pieces around. Okay, Andy, you're going to pretend you're hitting out that way.
All right.
All right? What Andy, yeah, just
Where's that guy?
right at Gary. There's
Visualize
Gary
that.
right there.
Right there.
Yeah, right at Gary, right at Gary's forehead. Anyway, we are going to decide and visualize our shot. Why? Because all great players do it. And it works. And it gets you a 30% reduction in your handicap as opposed to not. Okay? So, good enough? All right. So, really what we're doing is Andy's going to prepare his mind. He should decide and visualize with an I will statement what he's going to do. So Andy, pretend there's a target up there, just hanging down. You got a nice bullseye. Where did that thing go here? This target right here is up there. Can you picture that?
Yep.
Can you visualize that?
I can
You
visualize.
decide that?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to decide and visualize that happening. That gets Andy put in the present moment. It also gets him positively phrased. So is Andy going to have more ants or less ants if he tells himself, I will hit the ball at that target? Less ants. So that's one of the ways to remove your ants. But you have to believe it. You have to stick your chest out, put your shoulders back. He has more muscle than me, so he looks all right. So stick your chest out, put your shoulders back, and say it.
I'm going to hit it
That's
there.
exactly right. Okay, that's step one. What is step two?
Thinking so.
Rehearse my mechanics.
Rehearse my mechanics. So you are going to rehearse, or in other words, thinking zone and playing zone. Going to rehearse your mechanics away from the ball. So Andy, we're just going to give you a swing thought as an example. Let's say we want Andy to keep a steady head. Sound good?
Sure.
All right, he's a steady type guy. So we're going to keep a steady head. He's going to practice and think about that in his rehearsal zone, away from the ball. This is step two. So go ahead and do that. Let's make this real obvious. There's your thinking zone. Going to rehearse his mechanics away from the ball. Good. Thinking about his steady head. All right. Fire away. Heads up, everybody.
Want me to really hit?
Yeah, give it a whack. You're going to hit that target. Remind yourself of what you're going to do and hit it. Beautiful. Great. So there we have it. Now, there's a fourth step on. So step three, if you notice on the sheet, is the bullseye. It means target only. What does step four say?
Other key points for my
No.
the smiley.
There's a smiley face. Everybody see the smiley face on there? What's that guy doing on the sheet?
Liking it.
Thumbs up. On the card here, it says positive reaction.
I didn't hit anybody.
It's pretty close to the target. Would have been the target.
That's right.
I saw it at the target, actually, right?
That's right, exactly.
So, four-step process that we're going to keep doing. Step one, decide and visualize. What's step two? Rehearse your mechanics away from the ball, also known as do stuff in the thinking zone. What's step three?
Do it.
Target only. What is step four?
Give yourself a pat.
Positive reaction. Stay positive. Why do we need to stay positive?
Because it's only a game.
Because it's only a game, that's right. Because staying positive helps you remove your ants. What's it going to do for your next shot by staying positive? Improve it. So let me ask you all a question, just based on odds. Who's going to have better odds? Come on back here, Andy. Andy saying, I will hit the ball at that target? Or the typical golfer who goes, I hope I don't go in the trees here. I always play this hole badly. I top the ball. Everybody's watching me. What else? Give me another one. You have them.
They're talking too loud in the background.
Too much talking. There's the water. Right? Anybody have any zingers that we don't know about? These are all ants.
Never make it over.
Yeah. Right? How you get anywhere with that? I've been to 4 different separate different business seminars or like Tony Robbins type things. Every single one of them starts with the mindset. Because they all know if you don't have the mindset, you have nothing. And that is why most of the American public taking lessons gets this improvement. The donut. Might as well just burn your money or give it away. Okay? That is why. Because of the ants. So now, who's going to have better odds of playing better? The man or woman doing thinking zone and playing zone? Or the one who has no preparation and then gets over the ball and thinks too much?
First guy.
First man or woman, right? First guy. Got to do better. Because that's how it works. Simple. And that's what every player I've ever consulted with when playing well says they did. That's what tour pros do when they're playing well, right? Step 4, stay positive. Who is going to do better? Negative, mad, frustrated, thinks they're better than they are guy? Or positive, I'll get the next shot? Who's going to do better? Okay. The second dude, that's right. Positive guy. Because he or she is going to be ready for the next shot, going to be in the present moment, going to get rid of it. You literally need to tell yourself, people, you literally need to say, next shot, next shot. Say it, next shot. If you do have a little pent-up frustration or you have some challenges, get it out. It's fine to get it out. Don't make a habit of it every shot. Get it out, and don't walk up the fairway more than 10 steps or take more than 10 seconds before you say next shot. Sometimes we have emotions. Sometimes it's 97 degrees and hot and humid and we're playing poorly and can't find the beverage cart, right? So, or you just can't help. But you need to learn to understand this stuff. This process right here is fully, completely responsible for your consistency. This and good technique help and some of this stuff. This combination together will get you consistency, mental freedom, and will make you a better golfer. All right? With that being said, is there anybody that still wants to be the other way? Cool, that was kind of quiet. You have an opportunity now to get better. And this is the opportunity for you to, where they call it tough love as a coach. But this is what works. And it works consistently, and it works. Try it. Because this is what's going to get you better. And if you really want to take this game, let's not even say seriously, but you want to enjoy it, and you want to maximize your abilities, this is the stuff that works. And this is why students in our camp have improved 30.2%. Because they've understood and have come forward and said, okay, I'm willing to understand that the mindset, the processes, and the technique together, mind-technique synergy, is what gets it done. Right? This is what works. So I'd like to have another volunteer. We're going to play a mock golf hole. So who wants to come on up? Your name, sir?
Jesse Wild.
Jesse Wild. Anybody?
That's not your
Okay, we're going to play a mock golf hole to show you how to do this over and over and over. And by the way, you'll see on your sheet in the second section, there's an area that says rehearse my mechanics. That's where you can put your technique notes from the day. We're going to show you how to use this all together right now. We're going to use this 4-step system. We're going to show you how to put your mechanics in there. So when you leave here today, you have, in theory, you have a good foundation for your game. Based on what we've learned, what should Jesse say before he hits his tee shot?
I can do it.
I can do it, okay? It sounds like the little engine that could. I will hit my ball in the center of the fairway, providing that's where he wants. Or there might be a tree in the background, like straight away, or the pin or something. I'll hit my ball in the center of the fairway. Understood? Okay. So Jesse, let's fire one out that way so we don't hit anybody this time.
Okay.
And just, make like a 3/4 swing. I know you're a little higher than the ball and all that.
Okay.
But go ahead and so now what should Jesse do next after he said what he's going to do? What comes next? Rehearse the mechanics. So Jesse, what's an example of swing mechanics that we've worked on? You can tell them or...
I used to try and swing too steep. I'd come down too steep. And so something that I need to focus on is making more of an oblong swing.
Excellent.
So I'll work on that.
So Jesse's working on making more of an oblong or wider golf swing, a bigger circle, because he used to come up and down too much, too choppy or too steep. So where's Jesse going to work on that? Here or here? In the thinking zone. Why? Because it works. So go ahead and work on that in the thinking zone. Good. That's all we're gonna do for, exactly, even when we hit it, we'll keep it kind of small. Good.
Cool.
Now Jesse's rehearses mechanics. Remember our gym analogy? We talked about if you do a bunch of curls. Clearly he's done more than me. So you do a bunch of curls, you feel that pump? Well, essentially that's the equivalent. He just did a bunch of curls. So is Jesse more apt to make a wide, oblong, circular swing or a steep one now? Because he programmed himself. So let's do that one more time. I'll get out of the way now finally. Coaches like to talk. Good. Now go ahead and just hit one there. Right in the camera lens. Oh, perfect. Peak performer right there. Excellent. Smashed it. So now Jesse's ball did go long and straight, right up the center of the fairway, we would like to believe, correct?
Perfect.
It was perfect. No, not hard to say something positive after that. We need to work on Jesse's ego and confidence a little bit. Just a little. This is what happens, though, when you remove your ants. You start to border on a little too confident, so we're going to peg him down a little bit. No. In all seriousness, great job. So now that's one shot. Okay, that's the driver. So see on your sheet, you have a spot for, full swing. You have a spot for other. Maybe you put other under driving. Okay? Now, Jesse has, let's make this easy to understand. Jesse just hit it so far, like 320, he has a wedge shot into the green. Okay? But he doesn't have any old wedge shot. He has a pitching type wedge shot. That little half swing we did earlier. So now you go to your sheet and you'll notice there's another spot for short game. Right? Okay. So now Jesse, let's turn the mat this way. That way there's no excuses. And let's give you this wedge right here. Is that up to your standard?
Let's see. Oh yeah, that'll be okay.
Okay. Now, Jesse should not be making the same rehearsal this time. He has a shot that's 70 yards. Sound good?
Okay.
Okay, 70 yards into the green. He's not making that 320-yard rehearsal. He has a different technique that we've worked on. So Jesse, based on what we learned today and what you know, what would be a good technique for this shot?
Well, I need to visualize it. And as far as I'm concerned, I need to make sure that my swing I'm centered throughout my swing, working with a single axis here. And maybe a little bit more weight on my front foot.
Excellent. Very good. So those are the thoughts. So Jesse has taken a second to decide what he's going to do. He's making certain that his mind is ready for the shot. He's also making certain that his body is going to be ready for the shot. So let's do that next. So he's going to go in and rehearse.
All right.
So we have certainty. Remember what the number one killer of short games is? Doubt. It's gone. Swept it away. Get the broom out on the doubt. Good. So Jesse's going to rehearse his mechanics. Now you're going to step in, and he's going to hit the golf ball. Let's go that way with it again, please.
Okay. Sure.
Yep. Beautifully done again. Nice shot. Now Jesse is, because a gust of wind came up, and my stage. So, gust of wind came up, the ball rolled off into the rough, barely. It's like this far off the green, and Jesse, here, you go to right here with it. Little shot here, we're going to try to just chip it into the basket. So he's just off the green. The ball is sitting down in the grass. So what do we need if the ball's sitting down? Do we need like a 9-iron or do we need loft? What a great crew. We need loft. Excellent. So Jesse's going to have a sand wedge in his hand, a 56-degree sand wedge, because that's what we've decided. Well, sort of. Do you agree? So we're deciding that it needs loft. So again, we're making a decision. We're making a commitment to the shot. We're deciding. So Jesse's also going to visualize. He's going to come up with an I will statement with that decision or a visual. He's going to say, I will land the ball just in front of, or just on the green. He's going to pick a little X. Good habit for you all is to take your favorite color and pretend you're painting an X on the green. All right, so in my case, I like purple. Purple X. What do you like?
Pink.
He likes a pink X. Trust me, he's a man's man. He's all right. So anyway, so he's going to put that pink X on the green, and he's going to tell himself, I will land my ball on the pink X, it's going to break slightly to the left and go in the hole. Now, does that sound like most of your minds up until today? No, right? But that comes from certainty. It comes from knowing what you're doing. It comes from coaching. It comes from, just a little practice.
Yeah.
So Jesse's going to land the ball on that X right here, and it's going to go into the bucket.
Okay.
All right? So now Jesse wants to practice maybe a little putt punch motion. All right? Let's have you stand up there when you do it, just to practice a little more. Thank you. Make it more real. Golf ball's positioned slightly forward to center or in center. Go ahead.
All right.
Land it on the old X and make it happen. Excellent. You don't have to putt. Birdie. You made a 3. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Let's give Jesse a big round of applause. Mindset, the processes, and the technique together. This is what works. Jesse, when given the Removing the Ants DVD and the scorecard, has used them. I can only give them to you, or offer them to you. So they work. It works. This is the secret. The fundamentals to golf start with your mindset and processes. If you think that you are going to come to the golf course day in and day out and just feel your swing and it's all physical, you are mistaken. It is not all physical. Nor are you able to sit in a chair with some Cheetos, watch the football game, put it on pause every so often, and just dream up a good round. It's a good habit to do, but it's not it, okay? And there is research that shows visualization is very important. I'm not saying it's not everything, but maybe it gets you like 0.5%, okay? But it's part of it. But you need mindset, technique, synergy. You need to know how to put it together. And in this, as an example, in this DVD, we can't go over everything today. Today's just kind of just the tip of the iceberg. There are cards, and there's a training program that goes in here. So it tells you what to do each day for 1 minute. Right? So I'm a big believer that people do well. Research backs this up. You do well with 1 minute a day, 2 minute a day activities. But you need to do them every day, as opposed to the man or woman who goes to the golf range, pays $10 for their bucket, gets the bucket, they get between 70 and 100 balls, hit. You know what I say to that? Once again, get the junk out of there. Get it out of there. It doesn't work, because all you're doing is training a rhythm. And there's no such thing as muscle memory. Muscle memory does not exist. There is motor memory, or mind-body connection memory, or neurophysiological memory. That one I practiced. It's how you use your mind and body together that works. So that's what we train you on, and that's what everything's made for. So getting to the subject of practice. For those of you that are practicing, doing hit, there's like this much merit in it. But it tends to get you to results focused, and tends to get you to, you're too good in the moment. We don't want you good in the moment. We want you good the first time on the next shot. There's a difference. I'm not concerned with who can do 20 on the range. I'm concerned with who can do 20 on the range and do 1 on the course. So that's why you need to know your stuff. It needs to be organized and bundled how we give it to you. So as far as practice goes, you should be spending at least 75% of your time in this 4-step process. You should be practicing like you're playing a mock hole. Okay, I will hit my ball, there. Then once you hit it, stay positive wherever it goes. Then you pull out a club and hit the next shot. You could be on the range. You could pull out a 6-iron next time. Aim to a slightly different target, different direction. Maybe your first one was like up the middle of the range. Then your next one's maybe up to a pin that's on the left. You can even slide over to another range hitting station. Don't make anybody mad or start kicking them out. Okay. But you can do that. And then you take out like Jesse just did. We played that mock hole. Grab a wedge and go through the whole process again and pitch one. This is mind technique synergy. You don't need to be hitting around the range. You're just playing on the course. Make the range like the course. Get your mind trained to behave the way it needs to. Get your processes right. Okay, it's not about who can do the most in a row. It's about who can do the first one right. That's the key. Now, along with that, We have mindset, we have processes, we also have techniques. Technique is a part of it. That's why we discussed that today. That's why we have our death moves for our full swing and our short game, so you understand what not to do and what to do. There are important techniques. And a lot of the techniques are preferences, so I was only able to address today the ones that I think are key, most important for you, right? But sometimes you need something else otherwise. So, any questions on how to practice? Any questions on the 4-step system? Any questions on the sheets? Sure. Any really good putting drills to go through before you go play? Putting drills. Let's have you put a ball right here. Now, Griffin, you have the luxury of choosing. My kids drew on these golf balls for today. So you have the luxury of choosing. This one right here looks like it has a tractor on it and something else, a smiley face. This one right here is just straight up pink. That's my daughter right there. Just straight up pink. And this one has the number 12 on it. Jim Kelly. All right, he's going pink. Real men up here today, see? Very good. All right, now for putting drills, based on what we just talked about, what would be some smart putting drills? I'll give you some other ones in a minute, but what would be some really smart ones? Think about the golf course. What is a smart putting drill? You have one?
30 footers practice, not 2 putt or not 3 putting.
Okay. Practicing 30 feet and out. Most of your putts are 30 feet and longer or 5 feet and closer. So it'd be wise to practice 5 feet and in, 30 feet and out. How many golf balls should you use? 3? Anybody think anything differently? 1. Yeah. Start with 1. Because who's going to pay more attention to the practice when there's 1 try? Who's going to pay more attention to reading the putt? Who's going to learn from it better? Start with 1. 75% of your time should be spent with 1 ball. I'll show you some drills in a minute to do with 6 or 8 or 10. But 1. Be surprised how much quicker you get better and how much more you pay attention. So Griffin, we'll just use that as our target. Pretty big, right? And by the way, he said something earlier. He said, in my ear here, about 3-putting. Don't 3-putt. The way you want to say that, you want to learn to communicate to yourself is, I will 2-putt or less. You want to learn to phrase it in the positive vernacular. Try to get the word don't out of your vocabulary. Here's an example that's a touch off topic, but it applies. My kids are 5 and 4. When they were a little younger than that, like 3 and 2 or whatever, you don't say to them, don't go near the oven. Because what do they hear?
Go near the oven.
They hear go near the oven. You say to them, stay near the table. Understand the difference? Because now they have a positively programmed message on where to go. Same with this. Don't 3-putt, what do you hear? As opposed to, I'm going to hit the ball at that specific spot. So when you go to putt the ball, you should be telling yourself, there's like a little mark on the stage over there. I'm going to putt it right there. And you should be precise. And you should try to make your 30-footers. That whole thing about just getting it within the realm of a hula hoop, you ever hear that? Like, I'm trying to get it within a 3-foot circle. I get that. That's a reasonable putt, especially from 50 feet. But I'm still trying to make the 50-footer. Because if I get real precise and pinpointed like a bullseye in my mind, then if I miss, I'm within 3 feet. If I'm trying to go within 3 feet and I miss, I'm 6 feet. So make your targets precise and small, and then the I will statements. Okay? So before you do anything, let's go through the system, then I'll show you some drills. All right? So you should be behind the ball. Now, we don't know which way this stage breaks, so okay. You should be behind the ball, and you should be able to say, I will hit the ball at that spot. Now, I'm going to have you do something different than you probably do, and if it is already what you do, well, just humor me and tell me it was different. So. Okay. I'm kidding. Go ahead and take some practice strokes, rehearsals. And what I'd like you to do, Griffin, good, he wasn't. Okay, I'd like you to look right here when you're rehearsing. So forget anything about your stroke. Completely forget it. By the way, it's a great putting stroke. Can you putt well?
No.
Then it's all in your mind. It's all in his mindset and processes. He has a great putting stroke. Think about this spot, look at this spot, be the spot. Putt the ball. Go ahead. Let's get in there and putt it. Basically right in, if it wasn't the big lip there. Okay? So that's the first order of business, is you should spend it's like driving a car. You don't look at the pedal when you drive, you look up. You should spend 90% of your time or more looking at where you're trying to go, saying where you're going to go. I will hit the ball at my spot. I will hit the ball at the right edge. I will hit the ball at the blotch on the green there, whatever you're picking as your spot. That's the way to go, okay? Another drill, since you asked for them. Here, let's use this as an example. So I have this target here. We're just going to pretend the middle is the hole, okay? And Phil Mickelson has made this popular. It's a really good drill. Is you just put balls, maybe you say take 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You put them in, say, a 3 or 4 foot circle around the hole. But you don't just putt them. You go through each one. You read it. You read meaning you check out the slope and you decide where you're going to go. So again, you decide and visualize or make a decision. You rehearse looking at your spot. You putt the darn ball and you stay positive. And you do it. Now, if you find that certain putts give you trouble, so a lot of times for a left to right, or excuse me, a right-handed golfer, it's the left to right putt that gives you trouble. That's when you throw a few down and you do some reps and you get used to it. Or you, quote, learn from your mistakes. But I can promise you, if you don't have the mindset and the processes first, you're not implementing what's on here and what you know and what we're talking about today, and on your sheets and your MTS stuff, MTS stands for Mind, Technique, Synergy, you're not going to succeed like if you didn't. Okay? So there's an example. So there's a drill you can do. Another drill you can do is you can go, like we talked about, beyond 30 feet. Get one ball, throw it somewhere randomly, go through the whole thing. So there's time for one ball practice, there's time for multi-ball practice. Right? Another drill you can do, and I call this functional practice. Functional practice is taking the demands of the game of golf, looking backwards and going, okay, what do I need to practice to match those demands? So another thing you can do is you can take your, here's your pink ball. Okay? Go ahead and hold your hand out and drop it. Yeah. Good man, he was wise enough to do it on the carpet. Good job. Okay. You could take and put it next to the green. So let's say the hole was, back there somewhere, and you could then play it out from there. So you can go grab your wedge, and you would get your 56-degree wedge, and you'd practice with one ball, chipping it on the green, or pitching it, or whatever shot you decide, from the ones we learned today. And then having a ball mark in your pocket as well. You don't just go up there and kick it or whatever. Treat it exactly the same. Mark your ball, pull the pin out, go through the exact process of playing. This is practice. This is functional practice. This is practice that works because you are now rehearsing for the golf course. So if Griffin goes up and he marks his ball, picks it up, puts it in his mouth to clean it like we all do. Don't do that, by the way. Okay, just a joke. Right? Gets his towel out, cleans it, puts it in the back pocket, puts the ball down, lines it up exactly how it does because we're all compulsive as golfers. Did you line your ball up? Okay, well, maybe you should start. I don't either, but it's a preference, actually. Okay, so here, just to give them the benefit of the doubt, it's a preference. So anyhow, line your ball up, go through the process, and putt it out, and then stay positive. And if you're not any good, do it again. That's where elbow grease and repetition comes in time. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. The pianists that are very good, the master pianists didn't practice. What I'm also going to tell you is, you need to practice the right way. So if you put 60,000 hours into anything, you'll do it well. But this is designed, this is why our program is the #1 golf coaching program in the U.S. for amateurs. Because, you watch the tour, they don't rehearse very much when they hit their driver. Why do you think that is? You have an idea? Because they've hit 100,000 of them. They just don't need it. But you'll see them rehearsing all the time when they're doing specialty shots, trying to draw the ball, or fade the ball, or flop the ball, because they haven't done 100,000 of those. They've done 10,000 or something. So they don't have as many reps in to make it so they can do it in their sleep. I teach a woman who's a dentist. She said she could fill a cavity with her eyes closed. I said, well, I might not go to you, but I trust you. Okay, but that's the same. A lot of these golfers could probably play with their eyes closed. But you can't because you haven't done 100,000. So that's why you have to rehearse. All right, so you watch the Pro Tour, you'll see them rehearsing more on their specialty shots and their feel shots and all that. And they're more their drivers. Mark them and whack it. All right? Any other questions? Great, thank you. You're not getting another prize. What muscles take away the club? So what muscles are involved in the takeaway? This is still a slight bit of a preference, but I'm going to answer it the way I prefer and I like to see, and I think works the best for people. Okay, so basically you could take it away with your arms and hands. You could take it away with your body, things like that. I like to see that where you pin that lead arm on the chest. So in my case, it's left arm to chest. And then I like to see, this might be tough for me, I'll try it. Okay. If you put a soccer ball in your, this is a little kid's ball, actually, it's a mock ball. You put a small ball in your upper arms there and you swing, it helps you get the combination of the body taking the club away. So I'm basically, all I'm thinking about is pivoting my body first and then getting that wrist set. Because keeping this ball in, what it does for you is it, in theory, eliminates that pulling the club behind you. I was kidding earlier about starting an old lawnmower and how the kids won't understand it, but if you think about how you start an old lawnmower and you pull, that's a bad move for the golf swing. So that the ball gives you the combination of what to do. So if you put a soccer ball in your arms, it helps you understand how to turn the body or pivot it. And then it also helps you get that little bit of wrist hinge the right way that you need at whatever time you typically do it. So it helps combine those two. Okay answer? Okay. Great. I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. I'm very, very honored and privileged. I thank you very much. If you have any questions, any of the VIP people up front have questions, just stick around. There's time set aside for you. Anyone else in the general admission, there's the offer for you to talk to any of our staff. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed the new techniques, mindset, and processes that are only found here. Putting these together will start your journey toward shooting lower scores. I very much understand the difficulty you face as a golfer, and also know that continuity is the key to your lasting success. Without continuity, you will revert to your old way that doesn't work, and have the same inconsistency, frustration, and maybe even embarrassment. You now have the opportunity to become a consistent and happy golfer. Here are your options. Your Play Golf Like the Pros online coaching program. This program is the online-only version of the #1 golf coaching program in America for amateurs. Go to playgolflikethepros.com/free-trial to learn more. Your Gold, Platinum, or VIP coaching with me. These programs offer you the opportunity to work personally and privately with me at live events or one-on-one. This is the #1 golf coaching program in America for amateurs. This is based solely on results. Go to playgolflikethepros.com/coach to learn more. Lastly, if you're still desiring technique-only instruction, we do have swing downloads for you at SamuraiGolfSwing.com. Should you have questions, please email Kristen at playgolflikethepros.com. Thank you.